Hi everybody, Michelle here with Misfit Poo Productions. We are getting ready to start our next assignment. What you're gonna need some interesting stuff. You're gonna need shaving cream. I tried thinking of stuff that you might have around the house to do this next project. I would suggest that if you're gonna do this first part, you do it outside because it can be really messy. So you're gonna need shaving cream, junk paper, food coloring or dye. You get to choose whatever you have in your house. I don't want you to have to go out and get anything. Hopefully you have one of these two things. If you don't, you can just paint your background or you can stain it. What I'm hoping you have around your house is a piece of board. I got some clay board, which is actually really good with watercolor, so I'm going to show you this technique. And you're also going to need some nails and a hammer and a hammer. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, I have a pink hammer. And you're going to need some yarn and a pencil. So, first step, we are going to color our board. Like I said, if you do not have food coloring or ink at your house, you can just paint it. But I'm going to show you this technique. I learned it a couple years ago. It's a really fun technique. What I'm going to do, I have my junk paper. I'm going to take a sheet. Oh, I forgot one of the supplies. You also need a ruler. So I'm going to take one of my junk papers and I'm going to put my shaving cream on it. And then I'm going to go to my dye, food coloring, whatever I have. And I basically just have my primary colors. These are not like my most favorite colors. I actually prefer purple and blue. But I can get purple and blue if I mix this, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put it on here. I've done this technique many a times. I've done it with a wide variety of colors. If you are doing this and you're taking it serious, don't use more than 3 colors because then it will start to look muddy. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink or my food dye and I'm just going to do little droplets. It's not coming out as liquidy as it should, so I'm a little bit surprised. So we'll see how this turns out. I think this may be some older stuff. I just put blue down, put red. Okay, the red's coming out liquidy like it should. And yellow. I've had some of these supplies for a few years, so some of them may not be as good as I would like them to be. Obviously I'm not going to the art store during this. I'm trying to make do with what I have around the house, and I'm trying to be creative with what you might have around the house. So, and once I got this dripped on here, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to smear it across my board, creating whatever design I might like. Now this is where it gets messy. And why I said it outside, because now it looks like this. And this is where I need my ruler. I should have grabbed some paper towels. All I'm going to do now is clean this up and get the color that I want. Now I'm using an old towel that I really don't care about, so I'm just going to wipe it off on my towel. I would suggest, unless you have an old towel that your parents are okay with you destroying, that you go get some paper towels and just wipe this off. Clean it off with whatever you want to use. The more colors, the more unique it looks. You can see down here in the corner it looks really good. Up here it's kind of faded, so I'm going to do another round up here in this corner. I'm just going to flip my canvas a little bit. Do another round. Clean my hands. You know the great thing about art, when I'm doing my art, is that I'm constantly having to wash my hands. So I'm going to do another round of my shaving cream. It's starting to get windy. I'm going to have to put my water in the way so my paper doesn't fly away. I like working outdoors. I like being outdoors. It makes me feel better. It just feels better. I like being able to do things that keep me moving. In this our mental health is going to be so important. So I really want you all to just have fun when you're doing your art projects. And enjoy yourself. Don't overly stress. I think we're all stressed out enough just having to be indoors and not being with our friends. Alright, so I just did another round of the shaving cream. And I'm going to go on the opposite side that didn't get very much. And I'm going to smear it around. I've done this before where I've twisted it. You can come up with all sorts of patterns, designs. This can just be a really interesting thing. Now the red and the blue are starting to look a little bit muddy. It happens sometimes. But this isn't the end of our project. So I'm not really worried about this particular project getting overly muddy. So, here is now my board, which I'm going to go clean up. And then once I clean it up, I'll be right back and I'm going to show you the next step in this project. So, bear with me a second. I'm going to clean up, go get my paper towels, and we're going to go to step number 2. Alright, it looks like I'm back. So, our next step, we got our canvas, our board, wood, whatever you have around the house that your parents are okay with you doing this to. We got it. Our next step, we're going to draw a very simple contour image on it. Now, what's a contour image? It's just the outline. It's like a cartoon drawing. It's nothing complex. For me, I'm going to take it very simple, and I'm going to do a footprint. Anybody who's been in my class, you know my dogs are my fur babies. So, I'm just going to draw a footprint. Real quickly along here. I always have a little sketch or something that I've already done off to the side to make sure I'm doing things the way I want it to. I do a lot of research with all my projects. There's really nothing that I do where I haven't sketched out an idea or what I wanted or exactly. I'm kind of OCD. Those in my class know this. It's just who I am. I'm going to do a heart part of the footprint right here. Because I love my fur babies. So that's what you see me look off the side is my little sketch that I've already done. Making sure I got everything in my mind. I don't know how well you can see what I've drawn. But I basically have done a footprint, a dog print, and then right here I have a heart. I've just done a simple contour line drawing because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put nails in on over this. If you're younger, don't do this without your parents. So I know I probably have a couple people who are watching this that are younger. So I now need my nail. And my hammer. Like I said, don't do this if you're younger without your parents. I'm going to try to make sure that I get my nail in there good and secure. Ow! Yes, Miss Clancy is a klutz. I got one nail in. I'm going to go all the way around here, spacing it out. This is going to take a while to do. I'm probably going to have to fast forward some of this. Take bets on how many times Miss Clancy hits her thumb or her fingers. That would be actually kind of funny. If you don't have nails and a hammer, not really sure how we can do this. We'll probably use thumbtacks if you have thumbtacks. Just improvise the best you can. I know some of you may not have any supplies. We'll work through it. We'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So far, I've only hit my thumb once. Alright, so now, here's what I've done. You can look really closely, hopefully you can see what I'm showing you, and I've basically put nails in all around where I put the contour drawing. So I got a paw print with a little heart on it. Now, I'm going to take a little break and stretch out my legs. I suggest you do the same. Get up and move, and we'll be back in just a split second, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, back from our little intermission. What we're going to need for step 3 are scissors and yarn. I only have one color yarn. I wish I had more than one, but I'm improvising because we're in the zombie apocalypse. So, for the next part, I'm going to need my yarn, which has been sitting in my yard and gotten kind of wind blown. So let me wind blow it. I am going to start. I'm not going to cut it off until the end. I'm going to start, and I'm just going to tie it at whichever point I want to start with. If you have hot glue or something that you can just anchor it with, you can use that. I actually don't have that, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to double knot mine so the knot does not come undone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start twisting every which one. And I can get as crazy with the design as I want. I can come back, re-overlap. I just want to make sure I twist it around each and every single nail so it doesn't come undone later. If I want to create a pattern, I can. If I don't have to. I can just keep zigzagging. I'm kind of OCD, so I'm probably just going to keep on with the same pattern that I'm kind of doing. For those of you who have been in my class, we know Miss Clancy is a little bit more than OCD. I actually did this project years ago with a very dear friend of mine, and I had forgotten about it until I made a call out trying to come up with creative ideas of ways to teach you all. Oops. When I didn't know what supplies you had, and she called me up and she's like, hey, remember this a project? You should totally do this project. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's actually a really, really good idea. So thank you, V, for calling and reminding me about this project. I really appreciate everybody who has jumped in and helped and been creative. I can't take all the credit for myself. I wish I could, but I can't. It's really been a very fun project. So depending on how you want your design, I think I'm to a point where I'm okay with it. I'll probably come back and layer it a little bit more later. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to cut, I'm going to wrap it around. I want to make sure I get a really good loop and tie it off. I'm going to double knot it always. And then I'm going to cut that piece off. Use any string that you want. It doesn't have to be yarn. Use what you have in your house. Alright, so now I'm going to do thumbprint. Same method, same madness. Start, tie it off. Give it a good snug tight. Got my hair in the way. It does sometimes happen. I have some of the frizziest hair. It drives me crazy. That's why 90% of the time when I'm actually teaching my class, I have my hair up in a braid. So I just don't have to deal with it. Another one. We're getting close to done. These lessons, they usually last a couple weeks in my class because, yeah, we break them down so much. It's a little bit weird not having you in my classroom when we're doing them. And I'm not even sure we'd do something like this in my classroom because I'm not sure how many of you I would trust with cameras. No offense. Not cameras, hammers. Undo that. Then if you want to really secure it, you can go back behind here and glue each one of these in. Maybe put a little dab of glue here if you want. But you got your final project now. Hopefully you can see it. I'll do another picture inside because my back's to the sun's kind of glaring me out and I can't tell what you can see or not. This is your assignment for the day. All you needed was a piece of board, paint, or the ink and shaving cream, yarn, and nails. You can decorate it more if you want. When you go inside, you can draw like maybe your pet's name on it. I'm gonna actually put some demos of other different string art you can do. You can get really creative with these and just have fun. Kids, come on, let's have fun. Let's do our work, but let's have fun. So this is your assignment. When you're done, shoot a picture, send it back to me, and I will see you soon. Stay well, be safe.